Hi everybody, it's Yoli Chisholm and it's my objective to change your perspective. I'm coming to you from Austin, Texas, where I'm at South by Southwest, and I've had a great time talking and connecting with young professionals who are in the workforce as well as people who are coming into the workforce. So I've talked to a ton of university students, and I thought I'd do a quick episode of Ask Yoli. Usually you can ask me anything about your careers and about working in the workforce, particularly working in the corporate world. And so I actually had a question from one of my followers who actually I got to meet in person, which is kind of exciting. And she asked, what she actually worked at P&G, Procter and Gamble, for those who don't know, big corporation in the consumer and packaged goods industry. And she asked, how do you deal with scenarios where you have got 5 or 6 different hoops to jump through in order to get something approved or to get something changed? Either there's a process and it takes 5 or 6 people that something's got to go through. We have all lived through this kind of a scenario. And there are 2 ways you can handle this, at least in my experience. So the first way is that sometimes what you're dealing with is a situation that has just been that way for so long. So it's the status quo, and everybody hates it, but nobody actually has come up with a solution. And sometimes all it takes is for you to be the first one to say, hey, guys, we've got 5 or 6 steps in this process. It takes us X amount of time to get XYZ done. Why don't we do this? And so my first point is, it's not enough to just observe and complain about a situation unless you are gonna propose a solution. So if it is the case where it's just that something has been done a certain way and nobody has actually just voiced the opinion that it should be changed and actually come up or proposed a solution, then it'll remain the same. I have found actually time and time again that when you ask why is the situation like this? Why? And keep asking why. And you'll drill down, and quite often the answer will be, well, because it's just the way we've done it. And that it's not so much that the organization isn't willing to change it, it's just that nobody has proposed a solution. So that's one path. So do not complain unless you are willing to propose a situation. Now, sometimes there is the case where, you know what? It's the way that it has been decided from the powers that be that this is the way it's going to be done. There is some sort of a governance process that's been put into place. Maybe you're in an industry where there's some regulations and privacy constraints, or it's just the process. And maybe the organization is not technologically advanced enough to have automated certain aspects of the process or to have optimized certain aspects of the process. If that is the case, this is where I want you to employ that 3-step process that I talk about in my book, which is looking at your sphere of control. So there are 3 spheres of control. So there is that sphere at the highest level where you have no influence and no control. If this is a case where you have no influence and no control to change the situation, then you've got to just keep it moving, okay? You got to do what you got to do in that process, get what you need to get done. Don't give it another thought. Don't give it another wasted breath. Don't give it another wasted sigh. Don't give it another wasted breath complaining about it. You have 0 influence and 0 control. Keep it moving. The second tier is where you may have influence but no control. So you're not the decision maker, but you can influence a process. Here's where, hey, you just gotta voice your opinion once, make a suggestion once. If it is rejected, if it is ignored, if it is not listened to, you can say, I did my due diligence, I have voiced my opinion, and I've actually even made a suggestion. And keep it moving. If it is within your sphere of control, like you have the ability, so that third tier is where you have influence and you can control the outcome. If you have the ability to actually change things, make a decision, it is within your lane, your sphere of control, change the process. And the key is in communicating and socializing the process, communicating and socializing the benefits. You want to look for improvements in productivity, improvement in how long it takes to do something, savings in time or savings in money, streamlining the process. Speed is money. Speed is money. So anytime you can improve the time it takes to do something, everybody really will be happy. That's that third sphere. It's you have the influence and you can control it. If that is the case, then you make a proposal and don't be part of the problem. Instead, be part of the solution. So, sometimes dealing with in the corporate world, you have to deal with bureaucracy. You have to deal with red tape, but you can actually be the person that improves the process. And that is the true definition of intrapreneurship. Think like an entrepreneur, because entrepreneur, you're wearing many hats. You have to conserve and use your resources resourcefully. And so you being within a corporation can think like an entrepreneur and behave like an intrapreneur and improve the process. Hopefully that was helpful. Have an excellent week.